And we would like to show you the 2008 Ford E350 van that we travel in. So today we would be showing you both the outside and the inside, what improvements we've made. And I'll walk around to the other side. Okay, this is Andrea and Daniel. I'm editing from the last one we did during the winter scene. So now this was a spring project that we redid a few things, so we wanted to revise that video. And so up above is the solar panels that Daniel made on a wooden frame, and so they're slightly angled, and there's also a TV antenna up there. Okay. So this is the back of the van, and then Daniel will tell you what he did as far as the electrical.
Well, first of all, it's our water closet here. This is our toilet, medic toilet. It's a flushing toilet. You can just sit on there and use it, and dumps into the bottom. Works out good. It's good for a couple nights, so that worked out really well. And then over on the other side here, if you want to bring the camera around, I wired it up. I have a switch up here, which I can't reach right now. Let me get a second. I'll turn it on, and that turns the power on, 12 volt for our refrigerator / freezer, but it's one or the other. So this is our refrigerator. Right now it's warm in here, so it's 81 degrees there. It just kicked on, you can hear it. And then up next to it is the solar panels, and then on the other side is the little fuse box. All right here, this is the on and off switch for our 12 volt refrigerator. That's off. That's on, so we can tell that it's on from inside, because all the other lights are on the refrigerator. Then we have 5 breakers in here, or fuses, for the rest of the van built out. And this is our solar regulator that came with the kit. This is from Harbor Freight. This is their 100 amp hour kit that came. They have featured all the time. Then if you pan down here, you can tell we have a battery adapter. This runs the voltage from the car battery back to the house battery, so they're constantly in a charge as you're running the vehicle. And then this here is when I have it plugged into 110, this will charge the batteries up also. So this will light up, and I have a 110 outlet on the outside. If you look down here, these 2 plug-ins, one is for the automatic charger here and maintainer, and this is plugged in to the cooler. So if I do have 110, it'll automatically shift over from 12 volt to 110. And so when I unplug it, it'll go. If I have the battery power to the cooler, it'll stay running all the time, so we never lose any power on it.
Okay, so this is opening the side doors of the van. Under each side of the beds, we do have dresser drawers, but we do have a place to put a couple lawn chairs in here.
And a little, when you have 110, you have a little electric hookup. We have an outlet here, and then we have our fire extinguisher. And on here, there's a 2,000 watt inverter, and that powers our crock pot, our slow cooker, and even a small electric heater for a short while off the batteries.
And this is a fold-up table. Now going to the side doors of the van, the only improvement we made since the last video was that he made some improvements on the look of the side door, the left door. He put the paneling up, totally insulated behind it, as you can see here. And then he also added that same trim work on the side of the bed and the back of the dresser drawers where we store our lawn chairs, and he added the outlets right there at the entryway. These are the steps going up to the van, and he made one change inside the van. He lowered the countertop, and that was so that we could more easily access the openings, the latches, I mean, to this window over the kitchen area. So this is lower than when we showed you before. And we just added a couple pictures to the wall. And I think that's about all.
Well, the switch is up here. We had to redo this here. But that's what I added this in.
Well, when he lowered the kitchen counter, then he had to change the
You got a water pump switch,
switches
the
here.
light switch for above, and then we put a USB port in there and a 12-volt plug.
So that's all. We do travel with our dog, and she's a medium-sized boxer. So we do have a 3-4-inch memory foam pad for her to lay on in traveling and while we're on the road, and she sleeps overnight on that same bed. So then there's storage up above, which we used to use all of these items for our windshield, but now we have this new outside covering, and you can see that that's on for the first time today. We just had ordered that, and that wraps around the entire outside.
And if you look on the dash too, right now you can see how this van was a wheelchair van. It's a 350, so it has rear heat and rear air conditioning, and it has just a lot of functional use up in the dash area. One thing nice is that it also has 4 cup holders, so you can put water in there and coffee. And then we have on the dash we have the navigation all set up. And we did put a newer radio in here.
And it has 163,000 miles on it. So we will go over everything that we've done to maintain the van. Now, originally this came from an assisted living home, so they had all the maintenance records on it. They maintained it well.
In-house.
The first thing we had to do when we purchased it was what? The brakes?
When we first purchased it, we put new tires on it, and we didn't do the brakes until about a year later, because we wanted to see we bought it with 125 or 125,000 miles on it, and so we were kind of concerned because it had so many miles on it. So we did the maintenance as required and as needed. So the first thing we did was we ended up putting brakes on it. We're just coming out of the Smoky Mountains, and we had problems with the brakes. They had a squeak, and we had those replaced in Bristol, Tennessee.
Okay, now behind the driver's seat is where we keep the water tanks.
Right now there's just a little garbage can there, but there's a hose that you can see. It goes into a 5-gallon white water container, and then the other piece coming down is the drain that'll fit into the top of it. And if you look towards the back on the bottom there, you can see one of the vents on the floor. That's where the heat comes out when you need heat.
So we have, now this is our kitchen unit. The bottom is a regular standard bottom kitchen cupboard. And the top unit was purchased at King's Camper in Wausau. And they had this stove, sink, faucet, countertop unit because somebody purchased a camper and they did not want the outside kitchen. So this was a slide out, and they were selling this unit separately then. So we are able to obtain that, and that's the sink.
It came with
And it has the faucet.
Faucet, also has an attachment,
And the
a longer attachment that you can go.
2-burner gas stove.
And okay.
And we purchased the cupboards up above.
I built them.
Oh yeah, Daniel, yeah, he had to custom make these because it's the cupboard doors we purchased. But he had to custom make the back and the top because in this van, the walls were all slanted. And so there's no way a factory-made cupboard would fit in here. Then Daniel installed there's 3 of them. 3 lights underneath, and above the stove, he put the tempered glass.
We also, for safety reasons, we do have our LP monitor for gas leaks located in the van. So that's there for our safety.
Now in this van was a metal roof support, and we couldn't build around that, so we just covered the ceiling with a material.
There's fiberglass on the other side.
And we have a shelf, which is above the doors, a shelf for storing things. We each have a reading lamp above our bed. That's above, well, this is for the stove. And there's the other reading lamp.
And lately we wanted to have an extension for the cooking area, the kitchen area. It does have a little spot back here, but you really can't use it so well. So I built a extension for the table. I just used a piece of board that I had, and I had these slide-ins that go out of the way. And if I slide it out, you can see there's also a 110 outlet on this side of the sink, and there's one on the other side too. So if we were ever at a park that had electric hookup, we could use coffee makers or anything else and just plug it in and set it up on top. So that worked out really well. This just travels here and out of the way, or I can set it underneath the beds.
And so then above the other bed are also the cabinets, and we decided not to put
Doors on them.
cabinet doors on this,
A little bit of lift
on
in it.
these 4 above the beds.
And we used just the standard wrap for hot water pipes or pipes to use as a bumper guard. So just picked it up at the Home Depot or our Menards here in local Menards. And
Now we do have a place for a TV. Now that's above the foot of the one bed. These beds are 27 inches wide, so not quite twin size. My side is a little shorter than his because he's 6'1". But there's a TV bracket.
back inside the cabinet is a switch to turn on an amplified antenna for the TV. Also turns on the power to the TV so that it doesn't draw. So there's an on and off switch located on the back side of the cabinet.
And then right above the walkway, we have enough walkway space here. Right above the walkway is the fantastic fan, and that is has a rain sensor, so it will automatically close if it's raining.
Three-way. It's a three-way, and also it's in or out, so we can change the direction. It's also thermostatically controlled.
Okay, And this curtain is just for privacy because the toilet, the porta potty sits back there.
Earlier.
And that's what you viewed from the outside. Everything's in the house for the winter.
I can tell about this here monitor here is a new battery monitor I just installed about a month ago, and that'll tell me the percentage of the battery that I have left and help me monitor the battery life a lot easier than the solar panel one does. It's a good investment. And up here is the little electric heater I was telling you about. I checked it out. It does run off the batteries on low, so it will produce a little bit of heat on a low fan, and so on cold mornings it takes the chill out of the air without having to start the vehicle. But because of the heat that source in the vehicle, which we have running right now it's about 12 degrees outside, so we got the heat on and it's very warm in here. The heat comes, if she goes back down underneath here, I built a shelf in here and there's heat source that comes out underneath here. The heat's coming out from underneath here on this side, and it comes out in the front of the cabinet, so it works out pretty good. Plus it also comes out over here. It's really warm right here right now. Right here there's like a little heat source. So,
now we have tried little buddy heaters, even trying the very smallest little buddy heater, and it was just way too much for this van. This van is insulated, the ceiling is insulated. Any type of heater like the little buddies are going to be way too much heat for this area.
when we got the van, because it was a window van, we have a black liner on the inside of the window. Then we have insulation, then we have another vapor barrier, then we have wood. So there's basically 4 layers of insulation, but the way that we installed it, we didn't lose any depth or any inches, because in doing a van like this, you need to be aware of every square inch that you have. So we did everything in our capabilities to make it as wide as we can. So it really works out well. If you can see me sitting here, I'm 6'1" and I'm sitting here pretty good. And
Now,
I can't stand up all the way, but I can stand up. And just with my head bent a little bit. Andrea is only 5'2", and she can walk in through here with no problem whatsoever. So now if you look at this monitor too, I was telling you, I was just flipping through here. I got 355.7 amp hours. And it's right now it's because I have all the lights on, it's taking a little bit of it's drawing out of here. And it have 12.23 volts in here, but these are 6-volt batteries, 4 of them parallel and series, and 12.3 is basically the top end where you're really showing good amperage, because there's such a big base for it. It really works out well. And then if she goes to the back here again and goes down, you can see that on the floor there's another outlet to the back, and that's wired in. That is where I plug in my battery charger for the batteries. Also the cooler is plugged in there, so the cooler has a switch inside the cooler that will automatically go from 12 volt and be override if it's plugged into power. And again, we put every little space try to build up things. So we have a little curtain rod in here, storage, every place we can find it.
we can hang clothes here, and also we have a couple towel bars. This is at the top of the back doors, a towel bar. We also have a towel bar right here, you know, just to be able to dry off towels and washcloths. Now, I think the only thing we didn't show you is the drawer space underneath. Now, this is a actual dresser, which we have 4 drawers on this side, and on my side,
And
There's 2 drawers.
There's drawers here.
But that just made, very good support for the bed.
They're older dressers, so they're solid wood dressers.
And then on my side, oh, I can't really see. Yeah.
There's 2 drawers there. And behind it, we kept in the open space. So on one side, we have a little bit of storage. And on this side, a little bit more storage in a basket. And as you come forward, you have another storage here and a bin underneath here.
So that's all under the beds. That's everything you saw there.
So we really have lots of storage in here. This surprises me on how much storage we ended up with. We used every inch that we could.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Leave comments if you have any questions. We will soon be posting our next project, an unexpected purchase of an older motorhome. Please hit subscribe and a thumbs up. Thank you.